At the beginning of the film, we hear a child's voiceover, who is saying that 2 years ago, at 2:17 a.m. in Maybrook, Pennsylvania, 17 children ran from their homes and were never found. The surprising thing here was that these 17 missing children were all from the same class at Maybrook Elementary School. There were 18 children in that class, of whom 17 disappeared, leaving only one child named Alex. The next day, the class teacher, Justin Gandy, was shocked to find only Alex sitting in her class. The parents of the missing children were blaming the class teacher, Justin, for teaching them something that might have led to such behavior. A police investigation immediately began, with Justin being questioned. Then, Alex was also questioned extensively. However, both claimed they knew nothing about the incident. The police were clueless, except that the 1730 children had run away from home at exactly 2:17 in the morning. This was because some homes had safety alarms that rang at the same time. Then, some homes also had CCTV cameras, which clearly showed that the children had run away, and their running style was also slightly different, resembling a Naruto run. So, friends, this was the movie setup. From this point on, the film will be shown from the perspective of different characters, and I will explain it to you in that way. So, the story begins from the perspective of the class teacher, Justin. All the parents of the missing children were blaming Justin. The school's principal, Andrew Matthews, defended Justin, saying he had no involvement. However, one parent, Archer Graff, was placing the entire blame on Justin. That night, after this meeting, Justin went to the alcohol shop to buy alcohol. A drug addict named James asked her for money. "You'll remember this, James." Justin ignored him and made his way home, fearing that an angry parent might attack her. In fact, some parents had already started calling her from unknown numbers and threatening her. The next morning, Justin found a large witch scrawled on her car. Justin filed a police complaint, and we met a police officer named Paul, who was close to Justin. This meant they exchanged pleasantries. At school, Justin wanted to talk to Alex, but Principal Marcus flatly refused. They say that because Alex was the only child in her class who didn't disappear, Alex has already been interrogated several times by the police and several departments. Under pressure from overworked parents, the Markers asked Justin to take a few days off work and go on break, otherwise the situation could escalate. Despite her reluctance, Justin is forced to go on break. But Justin has definitely started following Alex. That night, Justin goes to a bar where Paul comes to meet her. They discuss recent events, and Justin is clearly drunk. In fact, she wants to get Paul drunk too. Long story short, Paul also drinks, and they end up sleeping together. The strange thing is that Paul was already married.
Yes, friends, Paul's wife's name is Donna, and Justin knows this.
Yet, they were intimate. In fact, this wasn't the first time this had happened. The next day, Justin stalks Alex again and even tries to talk to him. But Alex not only refuses to let Justin follow her, but runs away. Justin still refuses to give up and goes to Alex's house. No one answers the door when she knocks, and Justin notices that every window in the house has been covered with paper. Justin spots a small gap in one of the windows, and upon peeking inside, he finds Alex's parents sitting on the sofa, like statues, in a strange trance-like state. Horrified, Justin immediately calls Principal Marcus, saying that Marcus should check on Alex's house, in a legal way, to at least see if Alex is safe. That night, Justin is in his car outside Alex's house to keep an eye on the house. Late that night, He dozes off, and then the door to Alex's house opens. Alex's mother walks awkwardly out of the house, scissors in hand, to Justin's car. Then she sneaks into the car and cuts a small piece of Justin's hair. Justin, who was asleep, doesn't notice. From here, the perspective shifts. The story is told from the perspective of Archer Graff. Archer Graff's son, Matthew, has also disappeared. Archer is the same man who yelled at Justin at the parent-teacher meeting. Archer Graff followed Justin when he went to the liquor store. He painted "Witch" on Justin's car and is keeping an eye on Justin because he suspects him. Archer repeatedly asks the police if his son has been found, but they have no updates. Archer repeatedly watches the video of his son Matthew's escape, as there was a camera outside his house that recorded Matthew's escape. In this video, Matthew again ran in a particular fashion. It's like a nut run, and he ran in a particular direction. Archer immediately draws a line on the town map from his house in the direction Matthew ran. Archer then goes to another victim's family and checks their CCTV footage. He then sees the direction their daughter, Bailey, ran. He then draws a line from their house on the map, and the two lines intersect at a particular point. This means the fleeing children headed towards this intersection point and are likely somewhere nearby. While researching, Archer suddenly spots Justin's car, which was parked at a gas station to refuel. Archer immediately goes after Justin and starts yelling at him. But then, we suddenly see Principal Marcus running in the same strange way as the children. Furthermore, he was covered in blood and appeared to be in a trance-like state. Then, while running, they attack Justin. Archer tries to stop them. But Marcus seems possessed, his sole purpose, to kill Justin. Justin somehow manages to escape inside the store, and Marcus, escaping Archer, chases after Justin. Archer and Justin are trying to stop Marcus, and Marcus, looking at him, seems possessed.
This is where the scene cuts.
Friends, I want to tell you something. Both Justin and Archer had nightmares during their perspectives. In each of their nightmares, they saw a strange, old woman who looked like a clown. Remember this point. After this, the perspective shifts again, where we see the story from Officer Paul's perspective. Officer Paul's wife is out of town, and he goes to the police station. This is the same day, friends, when Justine went to the police station because someone had painted a witch on her car.
Justin and Paul's eyes meet.
They say hello, and then Paul leaves for his duty car. On the way, he spots the drug addict, James, trying to break into a house. Paul chases James and finally arrests him. During the search, Paul reaches into James' pocket and finds a needle. This must be James' drug needle, and in anger, Paul punches James. This assault was recorded on the dashcam of his car. This means that if a higher officer sees this recording, Paul will be charged with assault and could even lose his job. So Paul tells James, "I'll let you go. The only condition is that you don't tell anyone about today's incident and don't be seen in town again." James immediately frees himself and runs away. It was only after this that Paul received Justin's message. Following Paul's arrival, he met Justin at a bar, and the two were intimate that night. The next morning, Paul returns home to find that his wife, Donna, has returned home early. Donna sees Paul coming out and realizes that Paul must have cheated on her with Justin. This enrages Donna, who attacks Justin in a shop. Justin somehow manages to escape Donna's attack, and the shopkeeper manages to restrain him. Paul goes to the police station and tells his captain about the assault. The captain says that if James doesn't file a complaint, nothing will happen to Paul, and the recorded footage will automatically be overridden in a month. After this, Paul exits the police station and sees James approaching. Seeing James, he becomes enraged, saying, "I told you not to come back." And then Paul resumes his pursuit. At this point, the story cuts back, and we see the story from James' perspective. So James is a drug dealer who lies 1,000 times to buy drugs and even commits petty thefts. He was even demanding money from Justine the night she went to the store to buy alcohol. He was trying to break into a house to steal, and Paul caught him. After escaping from Paul, James decides to steal some items and sell them to a pawn shop. He'll use the little money he gets to buy drugs. In this connection, James heads to Alex's house, where he breaks into it. In case you're confused, Alex is the only child who didn't disappear from his class. So, James starts stealing small things from Alex's house, like kitchen items, CDs, and all. Suddenly, James sees Alex's parents sitting on the sofa, looking like statues. I mean, they weren't even moving, as if in a trance. Ignoring them, James goes to the basement, where he finds the 17 missing children standing in a trance-like state. Yes, friends, James was shocked, and at this moment, Alex's parents suddenly start moving towards him.
James somehow manages to escape from the house.
Outside, on the streets, James sees posters of missing children, with a reward of $50,000. Driven by greed for money, James calls the police and claims he knows the children's location. The police tell James that if he's serious and not joking, he should report to the police station, where he'll receive a reward. James goes to the police station, but Paul, who has already started chasing him, returns. James runs into the woods, where he sees the same clown-like old woman who was calling him. James hides in a tent. But someone starts opening his tent from outside. James attacks this person with an injection, and this person turns out to be Inspector Paul. Enraged by this attack, Paul arrests James and puts him in his car. To escape, James tells Paul that he knows the location of the missing children. James takes Paul to Alex's house, where Paul locks James in the car and goes to investigate the house. Paul goes inside and doesn't come out until late at night. James was waiting inside the car, and then, late at night, suddenly, in a trance or hypnotized state, he emerges and drags James inside Alex's house.
This is where the scene cuts.
From here, we'll see things from Principal Marcus' perspective. If you recall, Justin had called Marcus and told him that he should legally check Alex's house to see if Alex was okay. This thought stuck with Marcus, and he summoned Alex's parents to the school. A strange, clown-like woman appears at school, claiming to be Alex's aunt, Gladys. This clown-like woman is the same one Justin and Archer encountered last night. In fact, James had also seen her. Gladys said that Alex's parents were very ill and couldn't visit Marcus. Marcus then says he needs to meet with Alex's parents, and Alex needs to come to Alex's house to check everything out. Otherwise, he'll have to involve child services. Gladys is not happy at all. In the next scene, we see Marcus at home with her husband when Gladys suddenly arrives. She barges in as an uninvited guest. Then she asks for a bowl of water. Gladys then holds out a strange piece of wood, something like a plant stem with many thorns. Tied to this branch was a small flagstone from Marcus's office, which Gladys must have stolen from Marcus's school. Then, Gladys suddenly cuts her hand with the thorns of the branch, rubbing the entire stem with the blood. Before Marcus or her husband can stop her, Gladys rings a small bell, instantly captivating Marcus. Yes, friends, Marcus was now under Gladys's control. Gladys cuts Marcus' husband's hair, puts it on a branch, and then breaks the branch. As soon as the branch breaks, Marcus, under a spell, attacks her own husband. This attack was so horrific that it not only kills Marcus' husband but also severely injures Marcus. Then Gladys puts the stick in a pot of water, stopping Marcus. Basically, Gladys could cast a spell on anyone, and using the possessed person, she could target someone else. Similar to a guided missile or a targeted weapon. At this point, Gladys releases Marcus onto Justin using Justin's hair. Yes, friends, I told you that Alex's mother had taken Justin's hair. And this also proves that Gladys had Alex's parents under her control as well. Well, after this, Marcus, hypnotized, nutted and ran to a petrol station where he attacked Justin. Archer was with Justin at the time, and a scuffle broke out between them. Justin somehow escaped in his car, and Marcus, running in a similar manner, ran after Justin's car. Archer followed them, and then a car hit Marcus, causing him to be hit in the head and die on the road. After this incident, Archer was convinced that Justin hadn't disappeared with the children. Rather, he too was a victim. So, they meet, reconcile, and together try to find the children's whereabouts. Archer shows Justin his map, saying that the children are probably around that intersection point. Seeing this, Justin immediately says that the house at the intersection point is there. It's Alex's house. So, the two of them drive outside Alex's house and start keeping an eye on him. The scene changes again, and the story is shown from Alex's perspective. Right from the beginning, when the children hadn't disappeared, Alex lived with his parents, went to school every day, and was a bit of a bully at school. One day, Alex's father tells him that his mother's Aunt Gladys, who is very ill and has nowhere else to live, is coming to stay. That night, Alex sees his mother's Aunt Gladys arrive at the house, very old and dying. She also brought a strange plant with her. The next morning, Alex goes to school, and when school is over, his father doesn't come to pick him up.
So, Alex walks back home.
He finds his parents sitting at the dining table in a hypnotized state, talking to him like robots. Seeing this, Alex understands something is amiss. Just then, Gladys appears before Alex, looking younger and healthier than before. We learn that Alex's parents are now under Gladys's spell. If Alex reveals this to anyone, his parents will be in trouble. Saying this, Gladys takes out the same thorny stem or stick, rubs her blood on it, and performs the same ritual. Then, Alex's parents suddenly pick up their forks and spoons and start hurting themselves. Alex tries to stop them, but they don't stop. Finally, Gladys breaks the stick and puts it in water, which stops them. Essentially, Gladys was scaring Alex because if Alex tells anyone about them, Gladys could kill Alex's parents in an instant. Alex then sees Gladys performing the ritual at home. She uses the stem of a plant she brought home to use to cast spells on people. For her spell, Gladys needed personal items, such as hair or any other personal belongings. Through this ritual, Gladys fed on the energy of those under her spell, siphoning their life force to appear young and healthy. Alex quietly went to school, came back, shopped for food at the market, and kept his parents alive by feeding them sumac beans. Otherwise, his parents wouldn't even move from the dining table. Meanwhile, Gladys was beginning to grow younger. But one day, Gladys suddenly fell ill again and told Alex that if Alex brought her a personal item from each of the children in his class, she would heal Alex and his parents and leave. The next day, Alex stole all the children's tray labels, name stickers that were affixed to the trays. That night, Gladys performs a ritual using these stickers, and at exactly 2:17 a.m., the ritual is completed.
Then, Gladys rings a bell.
At the ringing of the bell, the 17 children run from their homes straight to Alex's house and then stand in the basement. So, this is how these 17 children disappeared. After this incident, numerous press conferences were held, in which Gladys accompanied Alex, and Alex, out of fear, remained silent. The police also came to investigate Alex's house, but Gladys not only cleaned the house but also hid the 17 children in the forest. After the inspection, the children returned to the basement, as they were following Gladys' orders. It's worth noting that while Alex fulfilled his promise, bringing the 17 children's personal belongings, Gladys did not. She hasn't left, nor has she abandoned Alex, and continues to control her parents. Literally, she's treating Alex like a servant. By the way, Paul and James have also been under the spell of this ritual. This means that when they entered the house, Gladys must have performed the ritual on them, and now they are standing inside Alex's house. Gladys had drawn salt lines inside the house, which she forbids Alex from crossing. At this point, all perspectives or timelines have converged, and from here on, the story will remain completely linear. Currently, Archer and Justin are standing outside Alex's house.
Paul, at Gladys' behest, goes outside the house and beckons Justin inside.
Justin and Archer enter the house, and as soon as they cross the salt lines, the hypnotized Paul and James attack them. These people were attacking Justino and Alex like zombies, and no matter how hard they were hit, they would always get back up.
Finally, Justin shoots Paul in the head with Paul's gun, killing Paul.
Then she shoots James in the head, killing him, but Archer survives. These scenes reveal that possessed people can only be killed by hitting them in the head.
Now, Archer goes to the basement, where finds 17 children standing in a trance state.
He starts searching for his son, Matthew, when suddenly, Gladys appears and cuts his hair. Then, Gladys possesses Archer, causing him to attack Justin. Meanwhile, Alex. He was in his room at home when he crossed a salt line near his possessed parents. His parents rushed to kill him, and Alex began to run. Alex somehow managed to reach Gladys's room, where she performed her rituals. There, he broke a stem from Gladys's plant. Then, he pulled a hair from Gladys' wig. He then poured his own blood on the stem and broke it. Yes, friends, Alex had learned Gladys's ritual by observing her. And he performed the ritual on Gladys. What happened was that the 17 possessed children began chasing Gladys to kill her. Gladys began running across the city, and these 17 children chased after her. Everyone in the city watched the scene, and at one point, the children caught up with Gladys, attacked her, and began to eat her. In just a few seconds, these children had torn Gladys' body to pieces, and with Gladys' death, everyone's spell is broken.
Yes, Archer regains consciousness, and Justine survives.
Archer's spell was instantaneous, so he was perfectly fine. However, the others who had been under the spell for some time had become like living corpses, like those 17 children and Alex's parents. Here, Archer finally meets his son, Matthew. Matthew wasn't speaking. Again, a voiceover tells us that Alex's parents haven't recovered even after 2 years. In fact, they still have to be fed. Alex now lives with another aunt, a good, normal aunt. Now, as for the children, they too are speechless. After a year, some of the children are recovering and starting to speak. The film ends at this point. So friends, this was the story of the movie Weapons, and it was a mind-blowing one. The film's direction, in particular, was amazing. Now, I know you might have some doubts. So, let's delve deeper into the story and answer your questions. Chronologically, there was a woman named Gladys, who calls herself Alex's mother's aunt. She visits their home. Then, she hypnotizes Alex's parents and feeds on their life force, making her younger and healthier. But that didn't work. When she started falling ill again, she blackmailed Alex and hypnotized her classmates, giving them even more strength. When her secrets were exposed, she considered fleeing the city, but just then, Justin and Archer arrived at Alex's house. Then, a lot of scandal ensues, but Alex finally musters up the courage to use Gladys' ritual on her, destroying her. Now, the biggest question is how Gladys' ritual works and what its purpose was. In this ritual, Gladys requires a personal item of her victim, such as their hair, clothing, or even nameplates. Then, Gladys ties this personal item to a branch of a special plant, then applies her blood to it. After this, as soon as she rings the bell, her victim falls under Gladys's control. The person under the spell could attack others at Gladys' command, especially when Gladys broke the stem. The stem was then broken by applying the hair or other items of the person to be attacked. The attack could be stopped by immersing the stem in water. Gladys was doing this because she was very old. May B is 100 years old and keeps herself alive and healthy by feeding on the life force of others. She fed on Alex's parents for a long time, and this is why even after Gladius' death, Alex's parents did not recover because their life force had been significantly depleted by Gladius. Some children began to recover and speak after a year because Gladius had not fully fed on them. Now, if you look at Archer's spell, he recovered immediately because his spell was instantaneous. So, yes, Archer was not affected. In this film, Gladius used people as her personal weapons. For example, when she used Marcus to attack Justin, and Marcus also pursued Justin like a laser-guided missile, hence the name of the film, Weapons. In fact, in the film, Archer also had a nightmare scene where he sees a gun in the air with 217 written on it, meaning 217. Now, another question is, who was Gladys? In the film, we're told she was Alex's mother's aunt. But I believe Gladys is an even older woman. She's some kind of witch who somehow came into their family and wreaked havoc on the entire town. Now, where did Gladys get that powerful plant? Well, we're not told about that. But given the popularity of this movie, I'm pretty sure we'll definitely see a prequel. Overall, Gladys was like a parasite who lived on the life force of others. And in the film, we were given a subtle hint of this right at the beginning, when Justine was teaching her class about parasites. In the film, people were blaming Justine for hugging her classmates and sometimes even dropping them home, which, according to parents, was considered crossing the line. In reality, Justine actually cared for the children. Although Justine was supposed to be a parent, she was supposed to be a parent. She had a habit of drinking alcohol and had been accused of drunk driving in the past. Despite all this, she wasn't a bad person at heart. Archer, too, didn't give up after losing his son, Matthew, and eventually found his son. Another strange thing is that Archer and Justin began experiencing Gladys' nightmares before they had even met her. So how did this happen? Well, Archer and Justin must have experienced nightmares due to Gladys' supernatural influence, not because they hadn't met her. Gladys's ritual powers were so powerful that they could affect people who weren't in direct contact with her. In fact, even James saw Gladys in the woods when he entered the house. After that, Gladys's ritual wasn't limited to physical control, it could also psychologically disturb people. Archer and Justin were both victims of Gladys' crimes, which is why they experienced Gladys visions and nightmares. So, yes, I hope I've explained the entire story clearly. And if you still have any doubts, please ask us in the comments. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and share it. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, as we continue to bring more such videos to our channel.